this the greatest time to be a DFW sports fan ever?
All right.
State your case.
My case right now is
the
Cowboys are a good football team. The Cowboys are a really good football team, actually. Do I put them in the great category? No. But they have some work to do. The Rangers proved they were great this year. You can't say that they weren't. They won the World Series, Kevin.
Never.
But I say the Cowboys, I'm sitting here like looking at them. I still think they're a really good football team, and they have room to grow and improve. Right now, the Mavericks are winning, and they are what number? Are they still second in the Western Conference right now?
They're tied for first.
Tied for first against a team that I bet's a bunch of chumps or something, right?
Oh, they did beat you already.
Denver? Is that Denver?
And they're the
defending world champions. So the Mavericks are essentially the champions if they're tied for first right now.
Interesting.
The Stars are hot. The Stars are looking like they are going to be competing for the Stanley Cup. So let's go back to the Mavericks real quick that look like if they can do this for the rest of the season. There's a lot of big games to decide this, but they could be competing for the Western Conference Finals. That, for me, would be a success this year for the Mavericks. Competing into the playoffs, whereas there were times where you're like, man, they may not win enough games to even be there. They might be a lottery pick team this year. But they look like they're going to compete for something that could put them in that conversation of Western Conference Finals. The Stars, we just said it yesterday, it's conference finals or bust. And Stanley Cup is well within sights for them. And the Rangers, I think the Rangers have at least a 4-year window to get another World Series trophy. And so I'm looking at this team, these teams right now. I'm feeling really good about sports here in DFW. We've had some very, very bad occasions where we've been looking at it going, all right, so the Rangers stink. The Mavs aren't. Now they're competing to get a low draft spot. The Stars, that's the only thing holding us up right now because the Cowboys just lost. This is a great time for DFW sports.
Okay, so there's a variety of opinions already, including just about the call from Eric Nadel. That will never get old, guys. Still makes me tear up.
Every day.
And then from the 619, no, it's not the best time right now. The 1990s are the best time. I'm going to need you to be more specific. We can't claim a decade. I need to be more specific.
Because they won Super Bowls? How? Yeah, in a given year, Kevin, the Cowboys may have been good.
Yes.
But the Rangers were not.
Nope.
And the Mavericks definitely were not.
They were the worst.
Until 99.
Now, 96, they were good in 96, but I'm going to take you to a more specific part of the 1990s. I need you to judge what's happening right now versus the beginning of 1993. Let me paint the picture for you.
All right.
Cowboys win Super Bowl 27 by 16 million points on January 35.
That's not true.
35.
Yeah. Come on, man.
They win the Super Bowl by 35 points on January 31st, 1993. Then on March 10th, 1993, it is announced that the Minnesota North Stars will be moving to Dallas to become the Stars. So within the span of a month and a half at the beginning of 1993, the Cowboys win the Super Bowl and we get the Stars. I will tell you, just to play devil's advocate, this is, however, also the run where the Mavericks were neck and neck for the worst record in the history of basketball.
Yeah, they weren't good, bro.
So I present to you...
It's a good pitch.
The beginning of 1993.
A very good pitch for that. And Kevin, if you're saying that it's been since then that sports has been this good in DFW, then yes, right now is the best time to be a DFW sports fan. If you're saying since 1993,
I got one more pitch.
877-881-1053. Are you old enough to remember 1993? Because we have a variance in our listening audience, so I want to know if they're old enough.
Either person in the other studio will be able to.
They aren't. That. No, they are not.
All
so
right.
Now, okay, so go ahead. I'm imagining.
I got one more pitch for you.
Let me take a guess on the area that you're going for. 11-10 area.
2011.
All right.
Now, let's start with the bad. The Dallas Stars missed the playoffs. Really feel like that could have helped crystallize my case right here. But they beefed it, so no dice. All right. But I'm going to focus in on the June through November area. Okay? June through November of 2011. Because people will point out the Dallas Cowboys missed the playoffs. Haha, yes, they did. However, in my part that I specifically blocked out, the Dallas Cowboys were 7-4 and on a 4-game winning streak as of Thanksgiving.
Okay,
all right? That's why
all
I
right.
specifically blocked out that window. Now, to go along with that, the Dallas Mavericks won the championship, and the Texas Rangers made it to the World Series. Yes, you know, I know, we all know what happened in that World Series. But in addition to winning the championship, the Rangers made it to the World Series. So you had 2 of your 4 teams in the finals, and one of them won. And you know what? As a Game 5, the other one was winning. And I quit paying attention after that.
What happened after that?
I
Kevin?
don't know. I quit paying attention.
2011?
Nobody's sure. No, don't look it up. I know exactly what happened after
They
that.
lost to the Cardinals.
I know.
They lost to the Giants. They beat the Buccaneers.
Oh, I'm talking about the Rangers.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the Cowboys.
So I would submit to you that for now, 2011 is better. However, you have a strong case. The Texas Rangers, world champions. The Dallas Cowboys, 6-3, 5th best record in the NFL. Also coming off their best back-to-back seasons in 28 years. Dallas Mavericks, 8-2, tied for the best in the West, 2nd best in the NBA. Stars, 10-3-1, lead the Central, 5th most points in the NHL. So I think you have a strong case, but I'm leaning towards 2011, then 2023, then the beginning of 1993.
Dude, I just want to point out, Kevin, that year the Rangers lost to the Cardinals in the World Series, which we could all just let go of now because it happened.
Yes.
And they were 7-4 in 2011 at that point. Then they lose to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
That's weird. Is that not weird to you?
Yeah.
In overtime? They lost the World Series in extra innings that night, and they lose to the Arizona Cardinals? What up with that?
Okay, you know what's really interesting?
Oh, the Renegades also won the XFL title this past year, Kevin, so that kind of bleeds
That might
into
tip
it.
the scale for Carter.
Yeah.
I could see that. From the 214, I was born in 1986, so I can remember starting in 1990. From the 903, I was too busy being born in 93 to remember. That's fair.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of people were really too young for it.
From the 432. In 2011, KNC made it to the radio airwaves as well. That was our first show.
That's
was
a good point.
The day of what they refer
point.
to as the Mother's Day Massacre, when the Mavericks hit so many three-pointers, the Lakers started pushing J.J. Barea around. And they were like, hey, we have arrived. I will say this. Both of these times that we're referring to, Kevin, because I don't remember 93 that well, all right? I was in high school, and there were a lot of things going on. But as I'm looking at 2011 and now, 2 teams that we have historically rooted for, that we always thought were just not big enough to be champions, we never thought the Mavericks would do that. We were always hoping. We got a guy. We love Dirk.
Sure.
But, you know, everybody else looked at Dirk as the soft Euro, right? Like, that was what his moniker was for a very long time. And the Rangers, it was always like, they're like a good farm system for the Yankees. That's all it really ever was. Going back to when we traded Rougned Odor and Joey Gallo, I wasn't mad that we traded those players. I was mad that we were giving them to the Yankees, and that was going to probably help them in some way, shape, or form. It didn't. But the team we rooted for all this time finally won it. Now, if the Cowboys can add something to it, that's what I'm saying, though. Right now, all 4 teams are at their best. To go along with it.
It does feel like
the Cowboys are going to go. Are they probably going to win 12 games this year?
Ooh, maybe 11.
11 games? That would be 3 straight seasons of double-digit wins with the Cowboys, and something that they haven't done in a long time.
Correct.
That's huge. So to add those things to it, this is the best your sports teams at the same time have been in most people's memory, Kevin. Most of our listeners that I'm looking at here, most of their memory is bad sports, but for one team at least. Right now, it's not.
All right, I'm okay. And then I see on the flip side, you're selling fool's gold. Cowboys and Mavericks will not bring you playoff joy. From the 214, come on, all makes sense except the Cowboys. Jerry's a super businessman and can't compete for the NFC Championship. Look, it's hard for me to argue with you on that.
Yeah.
All right.
I do take in that they're going to be in the playoffs this year, right? That's going to happen. Whoa, hold on. Is that look saying that you doubt that the Cowboys are going to be in the playoffs this year?
That's not what I'm saying. My question was going to be, what tips it in the favor of this season forever? Is it Cowboys making the NFC Championship? Is it they got to go further? Is it Stars in the Cup final?
If no team wins another championship this year, but all of them make it to their conference championship, that would be the best time we've ever seen.
Yeah.
The best time we've ever seen.
That's true.
Like just think about that, Kevin. What's the most fun? It's playoff sports.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Last year, if you were just a casual hockey fan, you probably got hooked in watching what happened on that run. Even if you saw them lose to the Vegas Knights the way they did, you were like, man, I'm in. Look at Mike. Look at Hockey Mike getting invested because he's like, they're a good team right now. Now, does he believe that the Mavericks are this good of a team? I don't think so. I might be the more positive one on this front because I'm looking at the Mavericks and I see some things that I'm like, you can build. Everybody expects a team just to be good right out. Hey, we just threw it together and it's good. The Cowboys are having to develop their offense and maybe even break some things down that Dak didn't do well before and add some new elements. One of the things that Dak's doing so well right now is running out of bounds at the sticks. How many times have you seen Dak Prescott try to pick up an extra yard and a half by lowering his shoulder in somebody?
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, why didn't you just run out of bounds? He's doing so well at that, and that's extending drives. It's making such a huge difference. I think Dak is growing right now. But there's other things amongst your other teams that I think that they will grow, or maybe they just fall apart and implode at some point.
And this is what I want to figure out. How do people factor in which teams is mattering at the same level? Because you brought up, a lot of people brought up TCU. Somebody said, hey, FC Dallas was a playoff team too. And then another person from the 940 said the tipping point would be the Stars winning the cup. And so another person said, don't forget the sidekicks were running wild in the 80s. Look, if you want me to go back to 87, 88 when the Mavericks were in the Western Conference Finals and the sidekicks were running wild, maybe, but I don't know if everyone values, let's say, the sidekicks or FC Dallas like that.
I mean, if you want to, just tip this bucket over, Kevin, give me SMU and TCU and UNT all running wild. And you're like, hey, they're in their conference. They're at the top of their conference. So SMU's rocking. TCU's doing their thing. Like, was it 10 that they had the undefeated season? And then, UNT grows up into some big boy pants too. I mean, I've been watching a lot of UNT football as I went to college there. Kevin, I don't know if you know this or not.
You went to college at UNT?
I went to UNT. I was a commuter from East Dallas. I graduated high school in East Dallas. But yeah, man, I look at that. If you add that, that's icing on the cake for me.
And somebody brought up 98, 99. I think here's the problem that you're going to run into there. The Stars won the cup. So obviously, incredible. The Mavericks stunk that year. That was the shortened season when they only played 50 games. Terrible. And then the Cowboys were mid, and this, I think, felt like their last stand when they lost to the Vikings. I don't know if it actually, I think it probably was their last stand, but in 99, they made it to the playoffs, got smoked by the Vikings, and that felt like the Cowboys' last stand for a while.
Can we just also add this too? There have been times where a team is good,
yeah,
and then the other ones are middling, whatever you like to say, Kevin. And so there've been times when that's happened, and in some of those moments, the Mavericks specifically, they won the one title and then were never to be heard from again. And so I'm looking at this right now, and I'm thinking the Cowboys have had, this is a third consecutive year. I know you're upset about playoffs. I get it. Regular season means nothing to a lot of people. I still enjoy it.
I mean, I enjoy it.
Not necessarily you. I know there's people out there that don't care what happens in the regular season. Playoff success is all that matters. I get it. I understand that, because that's whenever you feel, that's when you're done. It's over after that. But the feeling of that's 3 consecutive good seasons. They have, I think they have a window of 3 more in front of them. The Rangers, a World Series championship, a window for me that's about 4 years, could be 10 years with other things. The Stars, they look like they're going to be good and set for about 10 years. Maybe there's a window for some of these veterans like Pavelski and Jamie Benn to get their title, and you really want to close that up. But with Heiskanen and Robertson and Wyatt Johnston, Kevin, and everything else that you got with your core and the Stars, you have a good 10-year window here. And with the Mavericks, I'm not sure. Maybe Luka does decide he's done here. I don't know. but it does look like they are trying. They want to build something that is longer than just a few years. It's not like we're getting. That's why I'm saying the best time.
Yeah,
it's kind of in this window that we're seeing develop. Last year was not it. Right now, we're heading towards it, though.
Because it's the beauty of the situation, right, is it could happen. It hasn't happened yet, but it could happen.
Yeah, well, and what has happened? The Stars won a lot of games last year.
Yeah, they're in the Western Conference Finals. This year, they lead their division. The Mavericks are tied for best in the West. Cowboys are clearly going to make the playoffs. At least in my opinion, they're clearly going to make the playoffs. And the Rangers are the world champions. I see what you're saying. Somebody called me a clown for this, but I'll still go with 2011 for now. But you're on the right track, Porter.
2011 for now.
For now.
For now. You know what? I'm just going to enjoy the now then. Whatever right now is, I'm going to enjoy it. Regular season, playoffs, I don't care. I'm day to day, baby. I don't even know if I'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, on this planet.
Oh.
Not necessarily the job. I guess if I'm off the planet, then I'm off the job, too.
Yeah, probably.
Think I could do the show from space?
No. We struggled enough from each other's homes.